is going down, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back for the first podcast after Christmas and the last one of 2017. We started in 2017, we will end here, and we go again in 2018. How you doing, mate?
So good, Jack.
How was Christmas?
So good, Jack.
Was it?
Very heavy on the old Christmas stuffing.
Stuffing?
Yes, had lots of stuffing with my turkey. But
you did have turkey?
Very pleasurable. Yeah, I had turkey and pork, actually.
And pork?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mixed up. I had all sorts, actually.
Nice.
Boxing Day, I had this great steak as well in London.
Nice.
For Donna's
birthday.
birthday.
I did see, actually. A shout out to Donna.
Big up, Donna.
Big up Donna.
The big 5-0. Oh, whoops. Yeah, so yeah.
Good. Yeah, we had turkey, but it's still going. Like, I'm still having turkey.
Fantastic.
3 meals a day.
Isn't that what Christmas is about? Turkey sandwiches?
It was just me and Mum at home for Christmas, and you should have seen the size of this turkey. It could have fed the whole of Carrow at half time.
Surely the dog had some, right?
And the dog's been having it 3 meals a day as well.
Superb.
We just can't get rid of it. If anyone wants food, if anyone out there wants some turkey, pop round to mine. I'll sort you out for the next couple of years.
Well, when it says pop round, it's kind of like make the epic journey to Great Yarmouth.
Yeah, but it's fully worth it. And by the way, we are filming the first ever podcast at my house. What's going on?
GY.
Big up, G. How are you? Do you feel slightly ill from the air, or are you feeling good?
I feel fantastic. I mean, you know why I feel fantastic, Jack. Massive thanks to Leo Vegas, the Norwich City sponsors, for encouraging me to gamble this year. I've signed up to Sky Bet. I've been very, very sensible. I won't reveal how much I've won, but I've just been doing £5 bets at a time. Very, very simple. Yesterday, me, Jack, and a couple of the other lads went to the Grosvenor.
Grosvenor.
How you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Casino in the big GY, because we've heard some good things about it. We sat on the roulette table and, we do what we do, which is win.
And lose.
And in your case, lose, Jack.
Yes. Swiftly moving on.
Hang on. We should close off on that. Don't gamble.
No. It is a complete mugs game.
It is a mugs game, but if you're sensible,
it's still a mugs game.
It can be fun if you're sensible.
Yeah.
For example, if your grandma gives you a £5, why not just have a spin on the roulette table?
Or invest it into Bitcoin. Or don't do either and go and spend it on...
Or spend it on a Norwich City programme.
God, you wouldn't get much change out of a £5.
No, you wouldn't. 50p? Isn't it 4.50 now?
No, it's not. Is it?
Honestly.
But I used to get all of the programs. Then they're just so bulky.
Speaking of which, big up to the program team in general.
Just big up to the program.
Big up to the program. The Angus Gunn front cover was
actually done by I'm not sure if they're an artists group called Patterns of Play.
Yeah,
and they've done them all season, and they are absolutely phenomenal.
The Angus one is just superb,
Unreal.
though. Obviously, because of that classic Brian Gunn shirt. It just looks so good.
I messaged the artist after just to say how much I liked it. Apparently, both Angus and Brian both ordered one themselves.
Really?
Yeah, because there was only 10 of them.
I mean, if I was Angus, I'd have that up on my wall. Like,
you know what I'd do?
In my house.
Like, yeah, I'd print it in like an A1,
piece, isn't it?
And anyone who came in the house had to bow down and just...
Yeah. Although, I'm not sure Angus will do that because his mum is an amazing artist.
She is very good, isn't she?
So I would assume that he's probably got her ridiculously good art everywhere as you walk in.
Yeah. Wow. Deep. Let's go back in time. And by the way, we've got some questions about Christmas because I feel like I still want to stay in the Christmas spirit a little bit. But we've got some questions on that. We'll get onto them later. Brentford at home. It was last Friday. It was the 22nd of December. Or was it the 23rd? It was the 22nd of December. We lost 2-1.
Yeah.
It was...
I kept saying 2-0.
Yeah, it was grim that night.
It was grim, Jack. It was so grim that my Christmas lights had to come on my jumper to keep me entertained.
And even then it was a struggle.
Yeah, it was a struggle. You know what? On reflection, I thought Brentford absolutely did a job. They weren't fantastic, and I think a really good point that you keep mentioning, Jack, is how poor the quality of this league is this year. And again, an average. Let's not kid ourselves. Brentford are an average team, right? But they turned up and they did the simple stuff. They did it really, really well, and they finished their chances. And they made us look bad. And obviously, it's not that difficult to do that this season. But I thought that Brentford just played the simple stuff really, really well. Considering the pressure was probably on us rather than Brentford. So I think they had a lot to give, and they did. To be fair,
but that's still not an excuse, is it? In terms of getting beat because the other team played the simple stuff well. I mean,
no, not really, Jack. I mean, my opinion. I'm so angry at losing, as you would have seen on my fan cam. I'm always angry to lose home games, particularly home games against teams that, in my opinion, should be below Norwich City in terms of the overall quality of the squad and the way they play football. There is an expectation at Norwich City that this team should be in and around the playoffs, and I totally agree with it. We've obviously branded this season as a transition season. The club have pitched that to the supporters. Supporters have taken it on early doors. But that transition starts from in and around the playoffs. It doesn't start from in and around near the bottom of the league, right? I think we've got, obviously we'll go on to talk about it probably, Jack, we've got now a couple of massive games whereby, as everyone knows, Hux disagrees with me, but I'll still stand firm. I think that the Christmas deadline has obviously now been and gone, but we've won that game, and I think that Millwall at home, for me, I'm looking at that game as a real deciding point in terms of, can this philosophy actually take us forward as a football club? Can Daniel Farke inspire the players to success? Can these players, struggle against the team and then pick themselves up and grind out a win? Now, if they can grind out a win against a team like Millwall, there's no excuses. They should be able to grind out a win against anyone. They should.
It's interesting you mentioned there that kind of philosophy and the brand of football we're playing. I was having a good chat with a mate yesterday. He was saying, let's not forget Daniel Farke, before managing Norwich City, was a development coach. He was managing a second string squad.
Yeah.
That standard of football, results don't matter.
Yeah.
It's all about the way you play football.
Yeah.
It's about getting players into the first team and playing a similar style of football. Daniel Farke has now come into a league where it is all about results.
Yeah.
And yes, it's nice to play nice football, but you need to be adaptive. You need to change the way you play. And there's been times this season, you look at Brentford, we go 2-0 down, you're still in the game. You're still very much in that game, and nothing changed. I think we brought on, was it Marley Watkins for Murphy or something like that? And you look at some games this season, you think we probably could have still stayed in that if we would have slightly adapted. And I think Daniel Farke may now be seeing that he's going to have to change
his own style.
Yes, I think this philosophy, it's nice to have a philosophy, and it's nice to go, that's Norwich, they play X style of football.
Even though we don't have that, as we've already established. There is no philosophy.
At the moment, I think there probably is, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not working.
I don't think you can rubber stamp a Norwich City philosophy at the moment.
I think the philosophy at the moment is the build-up play being too slow, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to hold the ball, and we're trying to penetrate defences. Holding the ball, okay, possession's been fine this season. It's then the penetrating the defences that we've struggled with massively.
Agreed.
I looked at the Championship table for the first time for a couple of games. We are still the third lowest scorers in this division.
Yeah.
Only Birmingham have scored less. They've scored 12 goals this season. We're going to get onto the Birmingham game in a minute.
Yeah.
12 goals. That is horrid. And then the other team is Burton, who we go up against tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whenever you're watching this, so that is a massive worry.
I've only just looked at the table, by the way. I never ever look at the table. This is an interesting fact about me. And I really do mean this with the bottom of my heart. I do not look at the league table before Christmas.
You sound like a manager.
But it's absolute. Why? Because it's too extreme to look at the league table before Christmas and go, oh my God, blah, 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 like we're really struggling. Or, from Wolves' point of view, if they're looking at the table now, they'd start, sitting back, relaxing, being like, oh, this league's wrapped up, You look at the people at the top of their game, Pep Guardiola at Man City right now, what's he saying in his press conferences? It's not over, it's not over, it's not over. They have not lost a game all season. Now, I know that's completely different to Norwich City, Jack, but I think it works both ways. I really do. So, I will now start to look at the league table and think, hang on a minute, what's going on? And again, we'll go on to talk about it, but I've got an interesting prediction about the Ipswich game and the league table.
Okay, let's get on to Birmingham then. It was Boxing Day, and it was, for me, it was probably make or break. When you look back at it, that was a big game, and we'd gone into that one win in 10, was it? One win in 11, something like that, where we are going towards the relegation zone at a worrying rate. and we go up against the Birmingham side who are under Steve Cottrell, and he got the dreaded vote of faith from the board before the game. They've scored 12 goals all season. Their form is just horrific.
They are horrific.
They are quite bad.
Birmingham are Birmingham.
Birmingham are Birmingham, and we saw that Birmingham are Birmingham.
I'm sure loads of people have been waiting for us to say that.
I did actually see some of the comments was like, well, you beat Birmingham, Birmingham are Birmingham.
Birmingham are Birmingham. Do you know what I mean? But that is a story. It's not, you know what, it's not just Birmingham are Birmingham. Brentford are Brentford. Millwall are Millwall, right? These are the teams that Norwich City should be turning over. Should be. And, you know, I tweeted after the Brentford loss saying that Birmingham was a must-win no matter what, basically. Saying that, you know, there's absolutely no excuses. You had to win that game. And to be fair to the boys, they did it well. And particular praise to Josh Murphy, because he's had a difficult few games, and it's good to see him put the ball in the back of the net. But most importantly, it's good to see him put the ball in the back of the net and Norwich City delivering results. You look back at his, you know, probably best performances this season, scoring that delightful 1-on-1 chip against Arsenal, lost the game. Scored best player on the pitch by a country mile. Looked like he was going to be the new Jacob Murphy, so to speak, against Aston Villa, where he scored 2 goals, kept us in it arguably, as well as Angus. But again, we lost that game 4-2. So it's really, really good to see Josh on the score sheet again. And I really, really genuinely hope that this will boost his confidence for this season, because the boys got bags of talent. And as long as the team can defend properly, and we get that midfield, that holding midfield right, I do think Josh can flourish.
And that was the big thing, wasn't it? Tom Tribal back, Alex Tete back. It made such a difference.
But it's obvious, Jack, isn't it? It's absolutely obvious. I think every Norwich City fan knew that was the solution. You know, I know it's always easy as a fan to say, duh, you know, do this and make this change earlier, etc. But I think, again, it draws right back to your shout, Jack, about, you know, Daniel Farke needing to adapt his style. And I think for Daniel Farke, possibly not getting so emotional with it. And what I mean by that is, you know, so for example, we go into the Arsenal game and he plays his strongest strength team, and then off the back of that, you know, and again, I think sticking for Mario when he shouldn't have stuck with Mario. I think these decisions are emotional decisions, not footballing decisions. And again, emotional decisions whereby
But isn't that why we love Farke? Because he has got an emotion about him.
To a point, but I think that you want to see players in the team that are going to do a job versus players that are put in a team that are there because he wants to keep them happy. So I think the reason why the midfield has been chopped and changed so much this season, I think Daniel Farke is a good one-to-one manager. I definitely think he's got that over Alex Neil. I think one-to-one, you couldn't ask for someone better. And you can only see the way that, you know, even just observing the way that he talks to players, you can tell that he's got that. But for me, and I do draw back to that Brentford game, I do raise questions at the moment over that leadership word. So is Daniel Farke the type of manager that at half time he's going to get you up by the scruff of the neck when you're 1-0 down against Millwall, which could be the case, to deliver results? Now, at the moment, if we go 1-0 down, I can't see how Norwich City are going to get back in the game. Now, we were lucky, in my opinion, that we came up against a team that are absolutely woeful in Birmingham, who are just Birmingham.
A point that you raised in your fan cam and got a very good reception. That fan cam's done exceptionally well, so thank you. And it got ad revenue on as well.
Did it?
So that
is it because I didn't swear?
Yeah, that must have made.
How much did you get?
Probably about 60p. I reckon.
Superb.
Yeah, really balling over here. But a lot of people agreed with you in the sense that Russ left out of the squad. Wes is injured. Naismith.
Jerome as well.
The whole senior leadership kind of team. Do you still think that's got legs?
I do. I really, really do. I think you know, and I don't necessarily blame Daniel Farke. It's just worth noting that the most experienced players in our team are injured or left out. Now, I think that says that Daniel is trying to make his stamp. He's trying to, you know, get authority over this football team, because, you know, if you're Wes and you're sitting in this changing room, especially during that run of horrendous games, you'd be sitting there almost not laughing, but you'd be like, "This is horrendous." And I think if you've got a team sitting in your dressing room that's like, well, this is not good news, you look to them, it's going to go wrong. Now, I'm not saying that our oldest players are going to be putting off the players in this team. I just think that I think Daniel wants his squad to look at him rather than Russ, rather than Stephen Naismith, rather than Wes Hoolahan, because these players will naturally look to Wes Hoolahan. They will.
Do you not? Because except for Wes, I think Wes is probably the only exception in this. Naismith, people want him out. Russ, people don't rate him anymore. Jerome, people think he's past it. On playing ability alone, them three players aren't getting in this Norwich team. Maybe Jerome if Nelson isn't firing, but Naismith probably isn't. Russ isn't.
Absolutely disagree with Wes.
Probably isn't as well.
No, I absolutely disagree with.
Who'd you drop then?
That's exactly why I raised the point.
Because you love Maddison so much and you love Pritchard so much.
No. But I think Wes. Why is Wes not on the bench? Wes should 1,000,000% be on the bench. He's not injured. He's not injured. Don't tell me he's injured. He can't be injured for that long.
I'm the messenger.
I'm
the facilitator.
Mate, I don't buy it. But as you say, I think it was a valid point. I'm pleased that the fan cam went down well. I think. I don't want to be raising suspicions and stuff, but I just wanted to broadcast the fact that isn't it odd that our most experienced players are being left?
But at the end of the day, as we've said before, all of these problems are no longer problems when we start winning games.
Exactly.
So as long as we start winning games.
Right. Yeah.
As I think another talking point as well, and a man who has got a lot of credit this season, but probably there was questions raised whether this man would be good enough when we signed him, and that was Angus Gunn. And it's the fine margins we look at in games. A lot of our wins early on in the season were fine margins swinging our way.
Yeah.
We've had a few games where they've gone the other way, Forest away, etc., etc. Angus Gunn pulling out an absolutely brilliant save at 0-0, and that's probably the turning point in that game. If that goes in, you go on to
Is this Birmingham that you're talking
Birmingham's
about?
Birmingham, yeah.
Exactly. I think... look, I cannot speak highly enough of Angus. I'm delighted, chuffed, a little bit overwhelmed with it because I mean, no disrespect to Angus, I just didn't expect it to go this well.
No.
I think that when you bring back
and
a player to your home club with your home support, but it's been really, really great for Angus because the fans really want it for him, and he's delivering for the home fans. He's quickly becoming a cult hero with the Norwich fans now. Personally, I'd absolutely love it if we could keep him for a further season. I think there could potentially be an opportunity to do that. However, I think it massively, massively depends on Norwich City's results come towards the end of the season. Because, quite frankly, I'm not saying this is his opinion, but for example, what Angus could think is well, hang on a minute, why would I play for Norwich City when we're losing to teams like Brentford at home when I could potentially be playing in the Premier League? Because he, quite frankly, mate, and I really mean this, and I think there's only Maddison and Pritchard are in this category too. I think those three players could play in a Premier League team.
Yeah.
And this goes back to Maddison as well. I think that when you've got a player that's good enough to play in the Premier League, hands down, definitely.
At 20 years old as well.
1,000,000% Maddison could play in a Premier League team. It's so important the next few games to show that we can be knocking on the door of the playoffs come towards the end of the season, because you're going to almost tempt these players to say, no, you know what, come on, Madders, stick it out, because we've got a chance of getting in the playoffs, and maybe, just maybe, he could stay.
Because, you look at Maddison, he's a hungry young player. I think there's more chance in Maddison leaving in January than Pritchard. I think Pritchard will probably stick it out till the end of the season. Yeah. But Maddison, you've got a player, a 20-year-old, I think he's younger than me, which is mental. If a Premier League club comes knocking, and it's not like Premier League clubs don't have the money. We've seen Liverpool just splash 75 million on Van Dijk. 100%. £20 million is nothing nowadays. Norwich,
you look at 15 for Jacob Murphy. I mean, to be honest with you, I think if you're paying 15 million for Jacob Murphy, you've got to be knocking on the door of 20 at least for James Maddison.
And if that offer comes in, Norwich will accept it.
Yeah, 100%. I think we could play hardball a wee bit, because I do think he's a very special player,
and he's on a long contract as well.
I think that there's a couple of points with James Maddison that I think he's a better player than Jack Wilshere was in his heyday for Arsenal.
Bold.
Not bold. If Maddison was in that Arsenal team, he would have done as well as Jack Wilshere in his heyday. plus Maddison doesn't get injured and he gets kicked all the time. I think he's a better player than Jack Wilshere. I absolutely stand by that. I think that he would easily be able to cope in the Premier League at the highest level. And the other point with James Maddison I just want to go back to Angus in a minute as well, Jack, is I'm kind of starting to get annoyed with this whole patronising of Maddison. If you're James Maddison and you're sitting there, you're quite clearly the player of the season. It's obvious. The Norwich players know that. Just a little exclusive. I mean, I'm having a chat with Russ, and Russ says to me, James he's got to be player of the season so far, isn't he? So this is, the players know it, the fans know it. So why is Daniel? I'm not trying to villainise Daniel, but why is Daniel Farke coming out and saying, "Oh, we need to, keep James's feet on the ground"?
I think you do.
No, I'm now starting to go the other way. I think we need to start respecting him more. This is a player that could easily play for Arsenal tomorrow. Easily. You watch Arsenal against Palace yesterday. You tell me that James Maddison couldn't have done a job in that game.
I'm sure he could have.
We need to start treating James with a hell of a lot more respect if we want him to stay at this football club.
I think
he needs to be recognised as one of our best players because he is.
Well, he is recognised as one of our best players.
I think there's a bit too much kind of James.
But let's not forget
I think it needs to be more, James, thank you so much. You're smashing it with us, with Norwich City.
The fans think that, but on the other hand, you can't forget that this is a 20-year-old man.
Yes.
And let's also not forget, and I know he's ripped it up this season, before this season was playing League One football, SPL football, and he's now playing for a mid-table championship club.
I just think...
Let's not get too carried away.
Totally, but there's two sides of it. So there's the keep your feet on the ground, James Maddison, and there's the, we love you, we want you to stay, James Maddison. And I personally think at the moment that swing is far too much over that side. You're coming up to the January transfer window. The player most likely to leave this football club because he'll be sold for the right money is James Maddison. That needs to swing this way. But coming briefly back onto Angus, I think that he commands his area ridiculously well. Something that, John Ruddy did not do. Don't tell me John Ruddy commanded his area, and it annoys me.
He did when he got his England call up. He did.
I mean, he hangs his hat on that. Jack. It's ridiculous.
He was a superb keeper in 2012, 2013.
In our League One campaign and Championship campaign.
And the Premier League, he was excellent.
Okay, 3 seasons he was fantastic.
Yeah.
But the last 2 seasons at Norwich City, John Ruddy was not good enough, and I was pleased that he left this football club. Now, Angus, for me, already is a better goalkeeper than John Ruddy.
Okay.
He can throw the ball almost as far as Robert Green, which is what I loved about him.
Just loved his
drive. Reflexes are fantastic. He's a big lad. Poor old Mickey McGovern, he's not really blessed with his genes, is he? No. He can't fill his goal. Angus fills his goal. He can come and collect. He is not afraid to punch. He's got a great kick. I like the fact now, by the way, which is another thing worth noting, is that what are you laughing for?
He's filling his goal. There's nothing.
Oh Christ! Okay. Jesus, Jack, come on, Jack. Let's keep this PG. Another thing I'm liking at the moment with Angus is he's kicking it more, and I think that has changed. So I think we were doing a lot of pass it out to the defence, but now it's been mixed up. Now I'm not sure if, to be honest with you, I don't know whether that's Angus's decision or whether that's Daniel Farke's decision. But for me at the moment, it's working very well. And as you say, what a save against Birmingham.
What a save. Okay, let's get on to some questions. We're going to be previewing the Burton game in a minute, and we're also going to be talking, it's that time of the year, transfer rumours.
My favourite time of the year.
They are back. What else have we got written down? We've got bloody loads of stuff.
Yeah, go on, Jack.
I've just seen this come through. It's from the lovely Connor Southwell.
Go on,
who,
Connor.
by the way,
Connor.
That man has a bright future.
Yeah, 100%. Obvious.
He talks well, he writes well.
That's why we've recruited him.
And we've recruited him. He says, what do you think on the ownership debacle? Now, this is a really interesting one.
Yeah, it is. And it'd be interesting to get your take, Jack, as well. I think, for me, unfortunately, Delia came out and said the wrong thing to the wrong journo, in my opinion. I think
you should have said it to us. Give us the views. Not Henry Winter. Give us the views, Delia.
Obviously Henry Winter doesn't have Norwich's best interests at heart, and I think By the way, I follow him on Twitter. I do think he's a really good journalist.
Great.
I just don't think it was the right journalist.
But let's not forget, this is quite an old interview. This is...
Yeah, I know, Jack, but I think it was so strong in the direction of, it was so stubborn.
Yeah.
And I don't think so. I'm sitting there, we're losing to Brentford, and Norwich fans singing, we want Delia out and stuff. And I think, Delia isn't the one that's picking his team.
No.
And one of the things that you have to consider is it absolutely has to be the right investor. I think I really challenge and would love Norwich fans that want Delia out to just look at some of the other clubs of late that have been bought over by ridiculously wealthy investors, and just look at the way that the club's gone. Look at the seasons that they've been in charge. Look at the amount of managers that they've turned over. Look at the types of players they've brought in and how long those players have lasted at that football club. I think Norwich fans are quite, to be honest with you, ungrateful. I think, don't get me wrong, I think they're grateful for what Delia has done to a point, but I think they're forgetting that the other side of the coin can be horrific.
Yeah.
Horrific. You don't want to see this football club in League One. We are not a League One football club. There is a risk with that because you get someone in with a lot of money, they chuck it, and they kind of hope, like me on the roulette table yesterday. You put 50 on and you hope it comes in. If it comes in
50p,
red,
of course. Let's not gamble too much.
Yeah, 50p, of course. If it comes in on red, happy days. You look like the big man. Jack Reed buys you a pint. But if it doesn't happen, you look like an absolute buffoon. And I think there is a massive risk with that. I just think personally, I think there should be, me and you have obviously want Delia to come on this podcast. It's highly unlikely, of course, but I would just like Delia to. I think
Delia just coming on here and going, "We're selling."
No, I just think
we're selling.
I think Delia should do something with either the club or the local press or however she's comfortable, just to address the supporters more, because I think there's obviously this whole kind of, we want to be more transparent with the fans. Now, I think this arguably, I don't think now is the best time, but once you've started winning some football matches, I think it's probably worth, or at least come towards the end of the season, let's address the supporters and say, in terms of investment, where are we at as a football club? Why can't Delia, my thing that I'd ideally like is an investor to come in but Delia to stay on the board. Now, the problem with that is, if you've got a lot of money, you obviously want the power.
Yeah.
Why would you let someone else do the decisions when you're putting all the money in?
It is a tough decision. I'm kind of on the fence with this one because
me too.
Me too. I do. You know as much as anyone. I'm probably the biggest Delia lover. I love what she's about. I love what she's done for this football club. But, and this is a thought in the back of my mind constantly. Do I want this football club to be doing the same thing we have done for the past 10 years? And it's been great fun. Up to the Premier League, down League
6
One,
seasons in the Premier League, by the way.
Yeah. Brilliant. And where are we before that? We're no better off.
Okay, but we have been in the Premier League.
We have, yeah, granted. And admittedly, the way we reinvested that money was not Delia's fault. It was the lack of plan. It was Dave McNally.
No football people, yeah.
But can Delia take this football club any further than we're currently at? No. No, she can't.
We could get into the Premier League again.
We could. But
can she keep it in the Premier League?
Is it sustained?
But can she keep it in the Premier League? No.
Probably not.
Agreed.
So it's the argument is the grass greener on the other side? It might be.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
100%.
Let's bloody go. Let's climb that fence and let's have a look if that grass is greener.
Yeah.
Because until we know that, this argument is going to be rumbling on about. Now,
but we need to have a peek, don't we? We do need to look over that fence. And at the moment,
I love
we're still playing football. We're still playing football in our back garden, and we're not looking over the fence to see if there's a bigger football pitch.
We've got nice grass. The grass. This isn't Willamot's grass.
It's not Willamot's,
but it's getting there.
By the way, Willamot's, I hope you've had a lovely Christmas, mate. Really, from the bottom of my heart, I really do.
So we've got some nice grass. We've got fans in our garden.
Yeah.
But we know just down the road, just over that fence, is Willamot's.
Yeah.
And Willamot's has got the best grass in town.
Yeah.
He is loving it. He's got all of the best players and tea around there.
Yeah.
And that could be us.
Could be.
If we just go, we're selling. But it could also mean we're bloody Bure Park, right over there.
Yeah.
And the grass is rotting.
Yeah. Not good news.
And that could be us.
Yeah.
But until we take that risk, who knows? I just don't want us to be an average Championship football club for the next 15 seasons, and we know exactly what that is like for a team just down the road. You have a rich owner that aren't investing. Delia has no money left. We know we have no money.
But and I totally agree with everything you've said. But what's worth having a little think about is think about Norwich City as a football club and look at the history of this football club. Now, we've punched above our weight very irregularly, right? We've been to the dizzy heights of that third position in the Premier League once upon a time.
Different times.
We've won the Milk Cup, which has since been rebranded. We've been in Europe. We've beat Bayern Munich, but apart from that, we've been in and around the Championship and the Premier League. You look at Norwich City. Norwich is in the area that it's in. There's not a lot of talented players in Norwich and Norfolk, which is why we wanted the Category 1 States Academy, so we can poach players from London, because we simply don't have the talent in this region. Now, another thing is the ageing supporter base. Everyone in Norfolk comes to Norwich City to watch it week in, week out, but don't tell me that a kid that's growing up in Norwich now naturally wants to support Norwich City.
Why would you?
When he watches Liverpool on Sky every week. Now, I would obviously completely disagree with that mentality, but
if you're a 12-year-old kid,
you need inspiration that Norwich City are going somewhere.
You can't afford it.
Totally.
Like, it's not an accessible thing to do.
I do think, and I have every hope and faith that Steve Stone and Stuart Webber will bring in more incentives to younger supporters, because I don't think they're stupid. I think they both realise that there is an issue with an ageing supporter base. And I'm not being nasty to the old boys that sit their Bovril in the City Stand, because I think that's great. I think there's a place for that.
I think
the City Stand. That's the place for that. The City Stand. But I do think there's a lack of incentives to get young supporters in. I do think they need something to say, wow, we've signed, say we did sign Dear Mercy and Bakani, this beast from the East, or, if we're able to sign big name players, it does.
From the East. That stinks of Ricky Van Wolfswinkel.
Yeah, but it does inspire, and it just so drawing. And I can't even remember what my original point was now. I've just chatted rubbish for ages. What was I saying? Where was I at before that? Investment.
Should do this up.
No, that was it. So I think you've got to remember that where Norwich City have been throughout their history, and if we succeed, we're always punching above our weight. So why are you expecting a football club like Norwich City? It is small mentality, because I do think that Norwich City should be in the Premier League. I do, but you've got to remember where we're at, who we are, the amount, our stadium, the way we're recruiting players, Delia as an investor, and this is why it's so important to enjoy those wins.
Yeah, the only argument that I'm 100% fully disagreeing with is the fact that no one wants to buy Norwich. That is nonsense, utter nonsense.
Agreed. I totally agree with that. I do think, however, if Norwich City can win some football matches, it would make it a lot more attractive. But, agreed, because you look at when Nottingham Forest got bought over.
Barnsley have just been bought out.
I mean,
Barnsley.
Barnsley
Barnsley.
are Barnsley.
But you know what? Barnsley away is actually a great away day. Anywhere up north, the beer is just so much cheaper. It's unbelievable. Carl Prettyman, will you be disappointed if Russ goes in January as reported? So if you haven't seen it, Russ is heavily linked with a move to Rangers on loan.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
100%. I won't. What is the word? I'm not disappointed. I wish him very, very well. I think that he needs to go out on loan. But I have every faith that Russell Martin will have a future at Norwich City Football Club in terms of being a coach, or even a manager one day. I think that there are options here for Russ. He carries himself in obviously high regard with everyone. Obviously, the fans that switched on know just how much of an amazing man that Russ Martin is. I know I'm licking his rim there, but it's totally true. I think he'll do well. I think he does need to go out on loan. I do, because at the moment it's not working with him and Daniel Farke quite clearly. But the same goes for Wes, the same goes for Naismith, the same goes for Jerome. These leaders.
Peter Hunter. Does Chris Reeve like Burton as a club?
God. Who am I messing with here?
Norwich fan.
I was a Norwich fan.
Yeah.
No.
You don't like them?
Why? No, I like them, but it's kind of like bless them.
Right.
It's one of those. It's kind of like little old, Burton,
Who did beat us last year.
I have the same...
Did draw against us
I have the same amount of respect for Burton as I do for Millwall. It's kind of like those,
I wouldn't say that to Millwall.
Millwall great. Millwall are... You know what I like about Millwall? I think they're just very funny.
Right.
They're a very funny team, aren't they? Like, just who they are and what they do, and I'm alright with Millwall.
Yeah.
But Burton, that away day last season when, it hit Jerome's face and went in, and Bradley snapped and chucked his pie at the steward, and I queued what seemed to be like for half an hour to get a can of Coke. It was desperate. And, by the way, Burton, what I will say about Burton is, what a shit pit.
Oh, really?
What a shit pit. Seriously. It was like the whole place was like a riverside retail. Not even that. There was nothing there. There was actually nothing there apart from a pub.
Yeah.
A few shops. There wasn't anything. Honestly.
Maybe we were just in the wrong bit of Burton.
I feel like Burton was as good as Great Yarmouth.
Oh, that's harsh. That Yarmouth is... We drove through Yarmouth last night. It was popping.
No one was there. Just to
clarify, I'll tell you what.
No one was out in Great Yarmouth last night.
You know Lawrence off the True Geordie podcast?
Yes.
Or Lawrence.
Yes.
He sometimes watches this and he's from Burton.
Yeah.
So, Lawrence, if you are watching, just go...
I'm sure he would say that there's not much going on in Burton. That's my point.
Okay.
The culture's not thriving in Burton, is it?
Interesting question from Ben Dalzell, who has got a lovely little pint. He works in marketing, so he's on your...
Who does he work for?
Meets Tweets.
No idea, so I'll respect him. If it was one of our competitors, it might be a bit different.
Something that gets thrown around a lot is this is a transitional season. In my opinion, this doesn't exist in football. A lot of fans are simply falling out of love with going to watch Norwich City play.
Agreed.
Agree?
Honestly, I think that's so... I think, I've tried to brand it as a transitional season, but as I said, there's a certain level when you say, hang on a minute, that's transitional, this is bullshit. And at the moment, we're in the bullshit. We're in the bullshit section at the moment. Transitional is in and around the playoffs. You can't go from up there to down there. It doesn't work like that, especially with the expectancy, that this football club brings.
What about the bit of people falling out of love with going to watch Norwich City play?
And you know what I think is such a good point that Ben's raised, and I'm sure you'll back me up here, Jack. Recently, I'll be honest, it's been... You've had that thought in your head as, it's a bit of a chore.
Yeah.
You wake up and you don't jump out of... I remember in seasons gone by, of literally leaping out of bed in the morning. First thing I did was put on my Norwich shirt. I was absolutely buzzing to get down to the ground, suck in the atmosphere, and it's just not there. The atmosphere is not there, which is obviously to do with the fact that people are falling out of love with it because there's been far too many seasons gone by, and again, this goes back to what Stuart Webber rightly says about the mismanagement of this football club. The fans have been taken for granted. The fans have been taken the piss out of, and I think that now there needs to be some love thrown back to the fans to make them fall in love with Norwich City again. Now, it's really interesting that Ben's put this question out there now. I think it's a really key time because I believe it's the season ticket renewals coming up.
It's coming close.
Now, it's always interesting to see what happens, and I don't think the football club can just freeze the prices and say that's an incentive. I think that the people, the top brass at Norwich City, need to come up with something different. They need to give fans more value. I don't know what that is, to be honest, right now, but you need to try to say to Norwich fans, come on, this is why.
Maybe chuck in the cup
and not just, or something. And not just words on... I don't want just marketing words on paper. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about, Bill in the City stand that's supported us since 1969. I'm sorry, we don't give a fuck about Bill's story. We give a fuck about Norwich City
Sorry, Bill.
doing well. No, we don't care about Bill in the City stand. We don't care about his story. Don't give me words on paper and expect me to sign my season ticket. There's Norwich fans now.
21. Norwich
fans now need an incentive, and maybe that's a good shout. Can we do a certain amount of cup games for free? Can we do that? You know, can we say kids under a certain age, you know what? Do what Huddersfield did. It's £10. Even as an older Norwich fan, I would then think, oh, hang on a minute, they're actually looking after the fans now. You know what? I'll renew my season ticket. Don't give me Bill's story again.
No. You know what I want?
What?
I want Maddison to come to my house, knock on the door, and go, would you like to renew your season ticket?
And you would obviously say yes.
I want... Yeah, I would. I'd say
Yeah.
yes. I would say yes. Bill, I'm very sorry. It's not your fault that you were using them. Is Bill an actual...
Well, to be honest, I feel sorry for Bill because, again, if the football club come knocking on your door, so for example, if Joe Ferrari knocks on my door and says, Chris, would you like to share your story of being a Norwich fan for the season ticket brochure, I'm probably going to say yes.
And I don't give a shit about your story, Chris.
You don't care about my story. But no one cares about anyone's story. They care about the club story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not losing 2-1 at home to Brentford. Come on.
Charlie Summers, was sacking Farke ever an option? Seems like a massive waste of time for us to just give up on him now. I'm willing to give until the end of next season to get us up.
Wow. Jesus, I need to have a drink with this guy.
Yeah, Charlie, love
Hello.
him.
Blimey, O'Reilly.
So I'm with him. I'm with Charlie.
Are you?
Farke's not the problem. For me.
Okay.
For me...
I seem to have changed your tact a bit, Jack.
I think I've never been Farke out.
No, but I think you were...
For me, for me, this whole every single question that comes in, falling out of love with the club, season ticket renewals, player investment, blah 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 blah. You got to work from the top.
Okay.
This football club has become stale.
Yes.
That is because of the ownership. For me,
okay.
I think we need to sell, and I think when we sell, the club gets a whole new lease of life.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question again? Farke. You've got to give everyone... So it's very strange how this season has gone, because at the start of the season, I can't remember a start of the season, and probably until... I haven't known a start of the season where fans have been so excited.
And bought in so quickly
since
as well.
we got promoted the first time into the Premier League. When was that? 2011? 2010? 2011?
Well, the first time under Paul Lambert, yeah.
Yeah, under Paul Lambert. It was buzzing.
Mm-hmm.
New manager, new way of doing things,
yeah.
and that level of excitement was probably unjustified, but I got it. I was part of it. I was sucked up by this German revolution, the Farke... What was it called? Farke
Life.
Farke Life. The Wevolution.
Yeah.
I love
it. You
should
know that. You sold T-shirts.
I did sell T-shirts on that. I've still got one. I love Weber.
Good.
And where was I going? So I loved it. I bought into it. I still buy into it. I think Weber's the right man. I think Farke's the right man. But... there is still an overriding sense of staleness at this football club. Mm-hmm. And that is because of our owners.
Okay.
Now, Farke has made mistakes this season. We all knew it was going to take time to mend. I think the players have to come in to consideration as well.
But as you say, if we're winning football matches, surely this argument doesn't even get brought up.
Yes, but winning football, even if we finish in the playoffs, even if we go up, 2 years down the line, the same argument is going to come up about Delia.
Okay.
Winning football matches is great, but it papers over cracks. And
do you think
this argument was coming up in 2014 when we were doing well?
Do you think that Delia loves the club too much, Jack?
I think
that she doesn't want to sell it on because she's scared of where it might go.
Yeah, and I think that's... If I was the owner of Norwich City, I'd probably feel the same. She loves Norwich. She's at every single game. She's at the youth games. Of course, there's a certain sense of, sentiment about it, but that doesn't work in business. We're a football club.
Actually, she is. She's actually one of the most successful businesswomen the UK's ever had. So,
yes, but it's different between selling cookbooks and making money, between owning a football club that you support. Okay. It's a complete... And it's the way football has changed.
Well, I'm just saying that
even over the past 5 years...
Mate, I'm just
she
saying...
She hasn't kept up with it. And I'm
just
not blaming her.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that...
move it on.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is... I'm saying that Delia is very capable of making the decision because she is a very successful businesswoman.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of business acumen. Now, I think a lot of Norwich fans
That's
are
not...
like,
I'm
business,
not...
she doesn't know anything about business and blah, blah, blah. Delia, if she wants to, and I'm backing you up here, mate, Delia is capable of selling this football club if she wants to.
Of course she is, but she's...
But also, there's a lot of factors involved. There's a lot of factors
of course.
involved. But anyway, so back to Daniel Farke and that question.
Yes, we should give him until the end of
that
the
is
season.
extremely patient, Charlie, and I really respect the fact that you've come out and given us that, because obviously I love that kind of stuff. I definitely think that Daniel Farke, I still think that if you're losing at home to Millwall, you've seriously got to have a think about it. The players and the fans and the whole system has been given almost 6 months. Am I correct?
Yeah.
To grow and to develop, and players have had the time to get injured and come back from injury. You've not got the excuse of we've not got the right type players fit now, because the players that are playing for us now, this team should be delivering now. We've got Tom Tribal and Alex Tete back in there. We've got a fit Nelson Oliveira. We've got Angus Gunn more than capable of keeping clean sheets. We've got all of the defensive options that we want, really. We've got Jamal Lewis that's coming in now and really flourishing already, in my opinion, and looks set to be there for at least 3 or 4 seasons. And I think, me personally, I'm not as patient as Charlie. I'm not. I think that if you lose at home to Millwall, and I know that a lot of people have criticised me for being too positive and backing up Daniel Farke too much already, but I will jump to that side of the fence, because if you lose against a club like Millwall, come on, Jack. You talk about this football club's got to move on and this football club's stale. Well, quite frankly, if you're losing against Millwall, surely you've got to change it. Surely.
Who'd you go to?
Because it's a very good question. I don't know what the solution is, but I think that what you've got to look at is you've got to look at someone that knows the league inside out, or knows how to grind out results.
For me, though, and I'm sure if we were to sack Farke, we'd go on a good run, because you always get that bounce. But for me, it's a bigger picture than a manager now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it would all be well and good sacking a manager. That might get us up to the Premier League. Might stay there for a couple of seasons, would come back down, would have the same argument. But for me, it's all until we sell, it's going to be the same thing.
Agreed. But
I might be completely wrong. Yeah. It might go tits up, but until you do that, who knows?
But personally, if it was absolutely my decision and my decision only, I would keep Daniel Farke until the end of the season, because I'd give him a whole 100%. Season to prove that he can do something. It leaves no excuses, because by the end of the season, Norwich City Football Club should 1,000,000% be in and around the playoffs. If you're not in and around the playoffs, for me, that is absolutely not good enough.
It's going to be very interesting to see how Farke will deal with another transfer window, because he's got an opportunity to bring in his
Great point. Because
he's still got a team, and admittedly, most of his transfers have come to fruition quite nicely, but he's still got a team that he's pretty much inherited, and it's obvious that Farke wants a certain type of player that can play a certain style of football. So give him another transfer window. Who knows? Who knows what will happen? He's still young as well.
Yeah. I mean, just to challenge that slightly, because I know people always, sometimes challenge what we say on here. I think some people watching this now, Jack, will say, "Well, hang on a minute. Why should we trust? And this isn't my opinion, but some people will be saying, why should we trust Daniel Farke to bring in more players like Mario Vrancic that won't hit the ground running?"
Yeah.
In my opinion, I would trust Daniel Farke, because I think that now he's got the knowledge of the fact that you need a certain type of player in this league. I think he even came out after one of the games recently and said, how tough the Championship is. Huck said here, I think Huck sat with us just the other week and said, I think they've kind of realised just how blooming tough this is.
Alex says, why do I continue to watch you two as a blade, despite you hating Chris Wilder and Sheffield United Football Club?
Who said that?
Alex.
You know what? Stop watching us.
No.
No, I don't give two. Who is it? A Sheffield United fan?
Yeah.
No respect for Sheffield United fans this season.
Why?
Absolutely none.
But as a club.
By the way, let's check this guy out. Decent bicep. Respect for that. Respect for your bicep, but not for your...
I really like Sheffield United as a club. I think their fans' behaviour was pretty appalling, but it was only a minority.
It's been consistent all season.
A minority.
Okay, but their fans have been in trouble all season.
A minority of their fans. They pull 30,000 a week.
Agreed.
As a club, I really like Sheffield as a city, and I really like Sheffield United as a football club.
I prefer Wednesday to Sheffield United.
Okay, you'll really try to annoy this guy now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I am when he comes on saying things like that, yeah.
But he's saying he continues to watch us.
Again...
Quick point on Chris Wilder. I really don't like him, but if he was the Norwich manager, I think I'd really quite like him. Because he's... You know when you like... It's like Yarmouth. It's a shithole, but it's my shithole. Like, Wilder, he's a knob, but he's our knob.
Yeah. No. Okay. I can see that. But to kind of I'm not backtracking, but I like clubs like Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds, because these clubs have got history. These clubs have got tradition. There's a certain ethos about their fans. To be fair, they do what we do. They turn up every week, and you never see an empty stadium. So I do really respect that. But I've got. And a lot of Norwich fans will be agreeing with me right now. I've got zero respect for those Sheffield United fans that did what they did against us, but not just us, all of the other clubs this season. You don't see honestly, I know Norwich fans are particularly well behaved. We are. If you look at the stats in terms of arrests, Norwich City.
We're in the playoffs.
Well, we always win that stupid award where it's like the fair what is it award? Do you remember last season? No, it was 2 seasons ago where the club rewarded the Norwich fans with a marching band because we'd behaved. We'd had like the least arrests in the league or something like.
At least they're doing well at something.
I need to apologise to this guy a little bit because I did go.
I think he was up.
Where is he? He's got a cracking bicep, by the way.
Just one or both?
Nah, just one. Because the light's shining on his vein. Let me see.
There we go, Alex.
What are you going to do when you survive relegation? Hang on, he's in Spain.
Nice.
No, you know what? I'll stick to what I've said. Fair enough.
Right. We've got...
I do, on a serious note though, I do actually prefer Wednesday to United.
Okay, cool.
Just saying. Who do you prefer, Jack?
United.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good man.
Questionable decision from Swansea to appoint Wednesdays.
Oh, what is that? By the way, Carlos Carvajal, how do you pronounce his name?
You just nailed that, by the way.
Did I?
I think so, yeah.
Superb. Carlos Carvajal. he
Superb.
He has the best agent on planet Earth. Surely. And what are Swansea doing?
Yeah, that's very...
But then, is it desperation for them? Is it like a...
Well, they have to get someone in.
Yeah, is it like we'll have him until the end of the season? Surely it is, because you can't...
The only thing Carlos has got going for him...
Try it.
Carlos Carvajal? Is that anywhere near it?
Carlos Carvajal. I think we might be actually pronouncing it really badly.
Wrong. The only thing I really like about him is he's just a complete lunatic. He's been sent to the stands more times than I've had a pie at a ground this year.
Yeah, but you know that I actually like a bit of passion. I would actually quite like it if Daniel Farke got sent to the stands.
Right. Carlos certainly had passion.
Mate, but what I would say is Sheffield Wednesday turned up at our place and they looked like a team that wanted their manager sacked.
Yeah.
So
yeah, completely agree. Okay, final question from where's it gone? Ashley, I think it was. Yeah, it was from Ashley, I think. Is Yannick going to get flogged? He's only got 18 months left on his contract.
I think, again, he's one of these players where out of all of them, it's more probable that Yannick will go because he's out of favour with the manager.
Why? I don't get it.
I don't think we're the only ones that don't get it, Jack. I think there's at least 20,000 Norwich City supporters that are thinking, why is Yannick not in this team? Why? Now, I do think he struggled in terms of final product, but I think he can put teams on the back foot, and I don't think really we've done that enough this season. I think Josh has done it very inconsistently. I think Watkins needs a season to bed in.
I'm not convinced of Watkins.
Watkins needs a season to bed in.
I don't think he's a winger.
Yeah, but what is he? That's the problem with Watkins. What is he?
I think I'm right in saying that Barnsley played him pretty much down the middle as kind of like a...
Oh, so we've got another number 10, have we?
Well, it's more of a forward, but I don't think he fits into the way we play football. I don't think Watkins is a bad player. I just don't think he's a Norwich City player.
Do you think Watkins is going to be the next Jacob Butterfield for Norwich City Football Club? Comes with some promise, tries doesn't really work.
I like Watkins, and I think, for example, if Watkins went to Ipswich and they played him down the middle, I think he'd absolutely bang goals in.
By the way, I've got a question for you. Why do you pronounce Ipswich?
Ipswich.
Have you noticed that you do that?
How do you do it?
If you say Ipswich really quickly,
Ipswich.
you say Ipswich.
Do I?
You always put a G on.
Ipswich.
That's
just poor English from me. Ipswich.
I like it.
Ipswich.
It's quite cute.
Quite cute. No, but I think...
Anyway, sorry,
Ipswich. I mean, I do.
You do? I know you do.
Widge.
You always say widge.
Sandwich.
I like it because it's like disrespecting them. Which is
it's just poor English from me. Ipswich. I like Yannick.
As in switch. You're switching.
Yeah, instead of a widge.
Yeah.
Like a...
Sandwich.
Yeah. No, that's witch as well.
Just think of a switch when you say Ipswich.
Ipswich.
Put a T in it.
Actually.
Yeah, put a T in it.
Ipswich. Yeah.
Superb. Good.
I think Yannick should be playing week in, week out, personally.
I know that your love for Yannick is probably too much, but I can actually see the sense in it. I think,
by the way,
he should be starting.
A contender for the second biggest stars at Norwich City Football Club behind Yannick Bilgeka. Have you seen Jamal Lewis's legs?
Oh my God, Jamal! Like Jack. Right, so we got back from the casino last night, which, by the way, we didn't, spend loads of money in there. We didn't win big at all. Jamal Lewis. Yeah. Jack went, by the way, Chris, have you seen Jamal Lewis's legs? And I went, Jack, what are you talking about? And he showed me a picture, and it is quite astonishing.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I all encourage you right now to search Jamal Lewis and look at the size of his legs.
Yeah.
I thought as a young player they'd be quite, developing, but Lord,
that's like an oak tree rooted to the ground.
And actually, you know what? They kind of look. They don't even look real because he's kind of his thighs are so big, but his calves are like nimble. It's quite impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
Cracking legs, Jamal.
Right, from Jamal Lewis's thighs to Burton away. I'm going to an away game. On the coach. On the coach, I know. And I'm taking my mate, Charles, to his first ever football match.
Oh, that'd be
And I don't
nice,
think
mate.
he quite knows what he's got himself into.
Oh my God, Charles, I feel sorry for you.
Rounds. Legend.
Good.
Are we going to win? I'm nervous.
No.
Oh, come on, mate. I'm going all the way to Burton. Give me some hope.
There's a reason why I'm not going, mate.
Wow. Part-time supporter.
Jack, I'm fully comfortable with admitting that I'm a fair weather away day supporter. I'm absolutely fine with that. Why would I spend 50, 60, 70, possibly even £80, right, on an away day when you know that your team isn't going to turn up?
It's more than a game, Chris.
Jack,
it's about the memories we create.
Jack, are you going to create some good memories in Burton?
Yes, created some good ones last year.
I've just got this weird feeling that we're not going to turn up against Burton. I think what Burton do, especially at their incredibly tin pot gaff, is they bully football teams, and I'm fine with that. I think that it only works for certain teams. I think they play to their strengths. And I think I respect any team that plays to their strength, which is why I'm not going to dive in on them too much. And I think that this Norwich City team can easily get bullied. Now, when we went and we lost the season before. We got bullied off the ball, and we had our strongest team.
And
out.
Tim Closer had an absolute stinker.
And I can tell you right now, and this is no disrespect to Mario, because I think Mario's done so well in the last few games. I really do.
Average.
I hope that doesn't come across patronising, because I mean it. I do think he's done well.
Average.
But what I will say is, if you see Mario Vrancic starting against Burton, game over.
Go home.
Game over.
Yeah.
Honestly, because we will get absolutely run over in midfield.
Yeah.
To the point, and this might sound a bit bizarre, Jack, I would even consider dropping Maddison.
Okay.
Because I know we need some creative output, but I think Pritchard might do that better against Burton. I think Burton will bully us. Burton will 100% bully us. They'll play balls in the air. I don't think James Maddison is suited to that kind of collecting it from the air and then feeding it to Nelson Oliveira. I think we could. I mean, maybe we should start with 2 up top to try and give something else, something different,
or go with wingers. Imagine that revolution.
Imagine a winger actually playing on the wing and actually coming out wide and actually taking on a player 1-to-1.
That'd be beautiful.
Would be good, wouldn't it?
Yannick on one side, Josh on the other.
Josh on the other. Yannick is born to play at Burton.
That is what he was born for.
Yeah.
Much like Zimmerman. No, much like Stiepermann was born to score goals.
By the way, Stiepermann. Thoughts on Stiepermann quickly?
Interesting.
Saw him in Marks and Spencer's the other day.
Yeah.
So grumpy.
Right. What was he buying?
You're a footballer playing for Norwich City.
Getting Marks and Spencer's was beautiful.
Yeah, and he clearly has a lovely family, a good-looking wife. And I was sitting there, and he was on the till, and he just looked so grumpy. And I thought,
was he on self-checkout or?
No. Someone was serving him. I just thought, cheer up, mate. Where do we sign him from?
Somewhere in Germany. Somewhere.
You've come from Germany to Norwich City, and you just, I don't know, I just wanted to kind of go, cheer up, mate. We're actually starting you when you shouldn't start.
Maybe he'd forgotten his Sparks card.
No, maybe. That is always bad.
Or forgotten his bag and he had to buy a 5p bag.
Oh, nightmare. Always a nightmare.
Right, let's end it there. I will see you at the Pirelli Stadium on Saturday. Nothing sounds more glamorous than that. Chris, have a wonderful New Year. What are you doing for New Year?
No comment.
Well, New Year's Day is Millwall at home.
No comment.
So I'll see you there for the first day of 2018.
Yeah, can't wait.
Big
game.
Have a wonderful New Year's
game.
Eve, whatever you get up to.
Likewise.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. See you later.